Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah, wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala wa ba'd. So we continue with our reading in Jawami Al-Akhbar, and I pray that we're able to complete all that which I want to complete tonight, which is 3 narrations. Um, the first narration comes, the 4th hadith inside of the book. عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه قال أتى أعرابي أتى أعرابي النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم فقال, that a Bedouin came to the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم and said, دلني على عمل إذا عملته دخلت الجنة. He said, direct me towards an action which if I were to do it I will enter the Jannah. قال تعبد الله ولا تشركوا به شيئا وتقيم الصلاة المكتوبة وتؤدي الزكاة المفروضة وتصوم رمضان. He said, worship Allah alone and do not associate anything as a partner with Him, and establish the obligatory salawat and pay the obligatory charity or the zakat and fast in Ramadan. قال والذي نفسي بيده لا أزيد على هذا شيئا ولا أنقص منه. He said, by He in whose hands is my soul, I will not add anything to this, nor will I decrease from it. فلما ولى, so when the man walked away, قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم من سره أن ينظر إلى رجل من أهل الجنة فلينظر إلى هذا. He said that whoever would like to look at a person from the people of paradise, let him look at this man. متفق عليه. Hadith is agreed upon by Bukhari and Muslim. And as we mentioned previously, that a hadith that is mutafiqun alayh, agreed upon by Bukhari and Muslim, this is the strongest level of hadith that you can get. Right? There's no hadith stronger. For this reason, you find that some of the mashayikh, they would focus upon these types of narrations specifically, narrations that are agreed upon by Bukhari and Muslim. Now, this is stronger than a hadith that's merely mentioned by Bukhari alone or mentioned by Muslim alone. As for the ta'liqat and the commentary upon this narration, then As-Sa'di alayhi rahmatullah, he says, Hani an lahu, that this is a glad tiding for this man. This, the statement of the Prophet alayhi salam that came at the end of the narration, is a glad tiding for him, that whoever wants to look at a man from the people of paradise, let him look at this man. Now, this testimony from the Prophet alayhi salam, and how great and tremendous is this testimony. Shaykh Ubaydi mentions وقد وردت أحاديث كثيرة في هذا الأصل الكبير الذي دل عليه الحديث. He says that many narrations have come indicating this tremendous principle which is found inside of this narration. ومدلولها كلها متفق أو متقارب, and that which all of the narrations, when you bring them together, that which they indicate is the same, or it is nearly the same. على أن من أدى ما فرض الله عليه, and it is that whoever performs those things that Allah has made obligatory upon him. Now this is the understanding, the mafhum of this narration, because a person may look and say, okay, the man said, I'm not going to add anything to that, meaning I'm not going to do any optional salawat, I'm not going to do any optional fasting, I'm just going to do what's obligatory upon me, right? And I'm not going to decrease anything from it at all, not falling short of any of that. Now, and so he says that whoever performs what is obligatory upon him, بحسب الفروض المشتركة والفروض المختصة بالأسباب التي من وجدت فيه وجبت عليه. And this is in relation to those actions which are obligatory upon everyone, and then you have certain other types of actions which are specific to an individual who has certain characteristics inside of him, and if he has those characteristics inside of him, then that is what makes the particular affair obligatory upon him. So this indicates that you have 2 types of obligations. You have that which is fardun ayn, that which is an individual obligation, and it's obligatory upon every single person. And then you have that which is fardun kifaya, that which is a communal obligation, which if someone from the community or someone from the Muslims in that particular locale establishes that obligation, then the obligation or the sin is removed from everyone else. Now, and so you have certain types of obligations that are like this, which they only become binding upon certain types of individuals, whereas other than them, it is not binding or obligatory. And then you have those affairs that are obligatory upon every single person. That's salat, for example, fasting, either ada'an or qada'an. Fasting meaning either you're going to fast an actual fast, or you would have to make up the fast, or you do a kafara, an expiation for it if you are from that class or category of people. And like this, he says that, and so if a person wants to fulfill what is obligatory upon him, what Allah has made binding upon him, now, فَمَنْ أَدَّى الْفَرَائِض وَاجْتَنَبَ al-muharramat. So therefore, whoever performs the fara'id, he performs the obligatory affairs, and he avoids that which is impermissible, istahaqqa dukhul al-jannah. Then by way of that, he will deserve to enter the paradise of Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala. But without doubt, we fall short. Without doubt, we fall short. So therefore, we are in need of optional or supererogatory acts of worship. And the supererogatory acts of worship, they make up for the deficiencies that there are in our obligatory acts of worship. So we make obligatory salawat, no doubt. Our obligatory salawat is going to be deficient in some kind of way. Why do you think the first thing that you do out of the prayer is what? You say, astaghfirullah, 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 right? You just finished praying. What are you seeking forgiveness for? For the inevitable deficiency that is going to be in your prayer, right? You're seeking forgiveness from Allah Ta'ala for that, right? And so no doubt we're bound to have deficiencies because we're human beings. We're Bani Adam, right? We may have deficiencies in our fast in Ramadan. Maybe we say some things we shouldn't say. Maybe we get upset when we shouldn't get upset. Maybe we look at something that we should not have looked at. Now, so the optional fast that we do, fasting 6 days of Shawwal, mathalan, now, and fasting on Mondays and Thursdays, or 3 days out of the month, and so on and so forth, they make up for the deficiencies that there were inside of our obligatory acts of worship. A person may have deficiencies in the salawat. So we have sunnah prayers, we have tahiyatul masjid, we have qiyamul layl, we have all of these optional prayers by way of which we are able to make up for the deficiencies that there are inside of our obligatory acts of ibadah. And also you have the affair of those mukhalafat that we fall into, and the sins or acts of disobedience that we may fall into. Now, Allah Ta'ala, He has given us many ways to make up for those deficiencies. For example, tawbah, istighfar, as well as following up the evil deed with a good deed. As the Prophet said, alayhi salam, taqallah haythu ma kunt, have taqwa of Allah wherever you may be. وَأَدْبِعَ السَّيِّئَةَ الْحَسَنَةَ تَمْحُهَا. So look, He gives you the command, have taqwa of Him. And taqwa, as we mentioned, it is to act in obedience of Allah, upon light from Allah, hoping for the reward of Allah, and to avoid disobeying Allah, upon light from Allah, fearing His punishment. So the Prophet said what? Be like this, in this state, haythu ma kunt, wherever you are, wherever you may be. Now, whether you're in the masjid, whether you're in your car, whether you're in the house with the door shut, whether you're in the marketplace, whether you're at work, no matter where you may be like this, right? Difficult or easy? It's difficult, no doubt, to be like this 24/7. And so therefore, the very next line is as though he's saying, have taqwa of Allah, wherever you may be, but I know that you're going to fall short. So therefore, adbi' as-sayyi'at hasanata tamhuha. So follow up the evil deed with a good deed is going to wipe it away. It'll wipe it away. So when you have deficiencies and you're having taqwa of Allah, then follow up that deficiency, follow up that lapse or that mistake by way of a good deed, and as a result of that, what's going to happen is going to wipe it away. It's going to wipe it away. Now, this is from the rahmah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala upon us, upon this weak servant, this weak son of Adam who is filled up with deficiencies and mistakes. Now, but if an individual, were truthful in his claim, right? If he's truthful in his claim, and he fulfills all of the obligations, never falling short in any of that at all. Naam. And likewise, staying away from the muharramat, from everything which is haram, never engaging in any of that at all, he deserves to go into Jannah like this. He deserves to go into Jannah like this. Now, وَمَنْ اتصف بهذا الوصف. So whoever is described with this description, فَقَدْ اسْتَحَقَّ اسْمَ الْإِسْلَامِ وَالْإِيمَانِ. He is deserving of the title of Al-Islam, and he's a true Muslim, وَالْإِيمَانِ, and he's a true believer. وَصَارَ مِنَ الْمُتَّقِينَ, and he becomes from the muttaqeen al-muflihin, from the pious and the successful, وَمِمَّنْ سَلَكَ الصِّرَاطَ الْمُسْتَقِيمِ, from those who traverse upon the straight path. Now, and this narration resembles the next narration. This narration that we just took resembles the narration that is to come. The narration that we mentioned now, عن سفيان ibn Abdullah al-Thaqafi, comes from Sufyan ibn Abdullah al-Thaqafi. قال قلت يا رسول الله قل لي في الإسلام قولا لا أسأل عنه أحدا بعد. That I said, O Messenger of Allah, give me a statement regarding the religion of Al-Islam, which I don't have to ask anyone after you, right? Or which I don't have to ask anyone after you. قال, he says, قل آمنت بالله ثم استقم. Say, I believe in Allah, and then be upright upon it. Say, I believe in Allah, and then be upright upon it. Hadith reported by Imam Muslim. Now, so this narration, we find within it that this man, he came to the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and asked him for kalaman jami'an al-khayr wa nafi'a. He asked him for a statement that is comprehensive of all good and all benefit. Naam. And not just that, a statement that is clear in its wording, such that I don't have to go to anyone and seek sharh. I don't have to go to anyone and seek explanation of that statement. I don't need, it's not going to be something that is difficult to understand. Clear statement. لا أسأل عنه أحد بعدك. I don't have to ask anyone about it after you. Right? I don't have to ask anyone, hey, what did the Messenger of Allah mean by way of this statement? And so he said to him this statement. Now, he says, and so, a statement that, a statement that will cause the one who receives the statement to have success. فَأَمَرَهُ النَّبِيُّ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ بِالْإِيمَانِ بِاللَّهِ. And so the Prophet alayhi wasallam commanded him with iman in Allah, الَّذِي يَشْمَلُ مَا يَجِبْ اعْتِقَادُ, which comprises that which is obligatory for us to believe in. Nam qul amantu billah. Say, I have iman in Allah. And iman, according to Ahl Sunnah, as we know, it is belief inside of the heart, likewise testification upon the tongue, and action with the limbs. It increases with obedience, decreases with disobedience. This is iman with Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah. This is what iman is. So he says, say that I have that. Now, what we have iman in, of course, are those 6 articles and those 6 usul of iman. Iman in Allah, angels, the books, the messengers, to the end of that. Now, so this is how we understand when Jibril asked the Prophet alayhi wasallam, akhbirni an al-iman, inform me about iman, the Prophet understood the intent behind the question because he knew who the questioner was. Right? So he understood the intent behind the question. So this is why he answered the way that he did. Iman is this, that you believe in Allah, the angels, the books, the messengers, and like this. As for this is what we have iman in. As for what iman is, it's ta'rif, it's definition, right? It's head. Then it is, as we mentioned, belief in the heart, testification of the tongue, action with the limbs, increase with obedience, decrease with disobedience. Now, he says, so this statement of his, يَشْمَلُ مَا يَجِبْ اعْتِقَادُ, it comprises that which is obligatory to believe in, like those 6 articles that we mentioned. Min aqaid al-iman, from the belief system centered around the issue of iman itself. What is iman? Wa usuluhu, and likewise its usul, likewise its fundamentals or its pillars. This is what the Shaykh is saying. وَمَا يَتَّبِعُ ذَلِكَ, and whatever follows off from that, whatever follows on from that. مِنْ أَعْمَالِ الْقُلُوبِ, from actions of the heart. actions of the heart, wal-inqiyad, wal-istislam lillah, as well as yielding and submitting to Allah tabarak wa ta'ala. Actions of the heart, we know actions are of various types. There are actions of the limbs, actions of the heart, actions of the tongue, right? Action of the limbs like salah, like jihad in the path of Allah, like reading the book of Allah, and so on and so forth. Then there are actions of the heart, love of Allah, fear of Allah, tawakkul alayh, putting trust and reliance upon Him. These are the actions that we do with our heart, right? Fearing Him, and so on and so forth. Actions of the tongue, the dhikr of Allah tabarak wa ta'ala, so on and so forth. Now, and yielding and submitting to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is what Islam is. Al-istislamu lillahi bit-Tawheed, wal-inqiyadu lahu bit-ta'a. To yield and submit to Allah in Tawheed, and to yield obediently to Him. Batinan wa zahiran. And this is outwardly and inwardly. Outwardly and inwardly. Thumma ad-dawam ala dhalik. And being like this in all times. Being like this in all times. Meaning our state and condition does not change, depending upon the people who we are around. Now, the one who does this is the action of the munafiq. Now, that depending upon who I'm around is going to determine my level of religiosity. So that when I'm with the brothers, then I'm this way. When I'm with the kuffar, then I'm just like them. No, right? So we have to be like this ala dawam, in all states and all conditions, always striving to be in this state, realizing that we are human beings and we're going to fall short from time to time. Now, وَالْإِسْتِقَامَةُ عَلَيْهِ الْمَمَاتِ, and being upright upon that until death reaches us. وَهُوَ نَذِيرُ قَوْلُهُ تَعَالَى, and this is similar to the statement of Allah تبارك وتعالى, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ قَالُوا رَبُّنَا اللَّهُ ثُمَّ اسْتَقَامُوا تَتَنَزَّلُ عَلَيْهِمُ الْمَلَائِكَةُ أَلَّا تَخَافُوا وَلَا تَحْزَنُوا وَأَبْشِرُوا بِالْجَنَّةِ الَّتِي كُنْتُمْ تُوعَدُونَ. Indeed, those who say, our Lord is Allah, and then they have istiqamah. They have istiqamah. This hadith is just like this verse, right? Then they have istiqamah. Now, the angels descend upon them. The angels descend upon them, meaning at the time of death, saying, La takhafu, do not be afraid. Meaning, don't be afraid of what is in front of you, right? It's a glad tiding. Don't be afraid of what is in front of you, meaning, the meeting with Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala. Wala tahzanu, and don't be sad, meaning don't be sad about that which you're leaving behind, right? This is the glad tiding and the certainty that Allah ta'ala gives to the believers at the time of their death. Angels coming to them, giving them glad tidings. Now, don't be afraid of what's in front of you, and don't be sad about what you're leaving behind. Now, وَأَبْشِرُوا, and receive glad tidings of paradise which you have been promised. فَرَتَّبَ عَلَى الْإِيمَانِ وَالْإِسْتِقَامَةِ السَّلَامَةِ مِنْ جَمِيعِ الشُّرُورِ. So Allah Ta'ala has connected Iman and Istiqamah to safety and security from every evil. وَحُصُولِ الْجَنَّةِ وَجَمِيعِ الْمَحَابِ, and the attainment of paradise and all of that which an individual would love. وَقَدْ دَلَّتْ نصوص الكتاب والسنة الكثيرة على أن الإيمان يشمل ما في القلوب من العقائد الصحيحة. He says, so the text of the Kitab and the Sunnah are abundant, indicating that Iman comprises that which is inside of the heart from correct beliefs, وأعمال القلوب, as well as actions of the heart, من الرغبة في الخير, from having a hope for, a desire for that which is good, والرحبة من الشر, and being afraid, fearing that which is evil, وإرادة الخير, and desiring goodness, وكراهة الشر, and hating evil, ومن أعمال الجوارح, likewise actions of the limbs. ولا يتم ذلك إلا بالثبات عليه, and none of this is complete except by way of being firm upon it. Now, the next narration is hadith number 6. For those who are following in the books, is hadith number 6. Hadith number 6 comes عن عبد الله بن عمر رضي الله عنهما قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم المسلم من سلم المسلمون من لسانه ويده, that the Muslim is the one who other Muslims are safe from his tongue and from his hand. وَالْمُهَاجِرُ مَنْ هَاجَرَ مَا نَهَى اللَّهُ عَنْهُ. And the immigrant, the one who makes hijrah, is the one who migrates away from what Allah has made haram upon him, what Allah has prohibited him from. Agreed upon by Bukhari Muslim. وَزَادَ التِّرْمِذِيُّ وَالنَّسَائِيُّ. And in the version of the hadith that comes with Tirmidhi and An-Nasa'i, it has the additional wording, وَالْمُؤْمِنُ مَنْ أَمِنَهُ النَّاسِ عَلَى دِمَائِهِمْ وَأَمْوَالِهِمْ. And the believer is the one who the people can trust with their blood and with their property or their wealth. وَزَادَ الْبَيْهَقِي. And in yet another version that comes with Al-Bayhaqi, he increases or he adds the wording, وَالْمُجَاهِدُ مَنْ جَاهَدَ نَفْسَهُ فِي طَاعَةِ اللَّهِ. And the mujahid is the one who makes jihad against his soul upon the obedience of Allah. Now, As-Sa'di, he mentions, ذكر في هذا الحديث كمال هذه الأسماء الجليلة. So in this narration, it is mentioned the perfection or completion of these noble and eminent names or titles. التي رتب الله ورسوله عليها سعادة الدنيا والآخرة, which Allah Ta'ala and His Messenger have connected to it happiness and felicity in the dunya as well as the hereafter. وهي الإسلام والإيمان والحجرة والجهاد. And it is the affairs of Islam, because he said the Muslim is the one who such and such. Likewise, Iman, and the believer is the one who such and such. Likewise, the affair of Hijrah, because the Muhajir, man hajara ma nahallahu an, right? The Muhajir, and the Muhajir, the immigrant, is the one who migrates away from so and so. And likewise, that of jihad, because he mentioned who was the Mujahid. Now, وَذَكَرَ حُدُودُهَا. He mentioned as well the clear definitions of these terms, بِكَلَامْ جَامِعْ شَامِل, by way of speech that is comprehensive and exhaustive. وَأَنَّ الْمُسْلِمْ مَنْ سَلَمَ مُسْلِمُونَ مِنْ لِسَانِهِ وَيَدِهِ, clarifying that the Muslim is the one who other Muslims are safe from his tongue and from his hand. Yani, when he says al-Muslim, what the scholars they point out from them Ibn Hajar, by him saying al-Muslim, and like the alif and lam here is for istighraq, is for completion or perfection of something, right? So he's saying that the complete Muslim, the true Muslim, is the one who's like this. So the one who is not like this, therefore, he has deficiencies in his Islam. So the true Muslim is the one who, Muslims can feel safe from his tongue. He's not going to harm him. He's not going to harm them verbally, neither by way of a speech and what he says to them, nor what he says about them, slandering them, backbiting them, carrying upon them, verbally abusing them. And he's not going to do any of these things because he's a true Muslim. Naam. And likewise, he's not going to harm them physically with his hands, right? Putting his hands on them or taking their property, working and trying to get over on them and swindle them and the likes of this. Now, he says, وَذَلِكَ أَنَّ الْإِسْلَامِ الْحَقِيقِي. And this is because true Islam is al-istislam lillah. It is to yield and submit to Allah. وَتَكْمِيلُ عُبُودِيَاتِهِ. And to complete his servitude, to be a complete slave or servant of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَالْقِيَامِ بِحُقُوقِهِ. And establishing the rights of Allah, prayers, fasting, worshiping Him alone, not associating anything as a partner with Him. It's the haqq of Allah Azza wa Jal. Naam. وَحُقُوقِ الْمُسْلِمِينَ. Likewise, establishing the rights of other Muslims. Establishing the rights of other Muslims. وَلَا يَتِمَّ الْإِسْلَامِ حَتَّى يُحِبْ لِلْمُسْلِمِينَ مَا يُحِبْ لِنَفْسِهِ. And a person's Islam is not complete until he loves for his brother Muslims that which he loves for himself. وَلَا يَتَحَقَّقْ ذَلِكَ إِلَّا بِسَلَامَتِهِمْ مِنْ شَرِّ لِسَانِهِ. And none of this is actualized except by way of ensuring that Muslims are safe from his tongue. وَيَدِهِ. And likewise, his hand. They are safe from his tongue and safe from his hand. فإن هذا أصل هذا الفرض الذي عليه المسلمين. For this is the foundation of this obligation that is upon the Muslim to display towards other Muslims, that of keeping them safe from his tongue and from his hand. نعم فمن لم يسلم المسلمون من لسانه أو يده كيف يكون قائما بالفرض الذي عليه لإخوانه المسلمين. So the individual who, now the Muslims are not safe from his tongue nor from his hand, right? He harms them every chance he gets. He talks about them, or he disrespects them verbally and talks down to them and the likes of this, or he strives to physically harm them or harm them financially and the likes of that. Yani, how can he be truly one who completes his Islam where he does not display these rights towards his Muslim brothers? فسلامته من شره القولي والفعلي عنوان على كمال إسلامه. So therefore, keeping them safe, keeping other Muslims safe from the evil of an individual, from the evil of yourself. You withhold your evil from others. قولي والفعلي, in statement and action, then this is an indication of the completion of a person's Islam. It's an indication that you do well with your Islam. ففسر المؤمن بأنه الذي يأمنه الناس على دمائهم وأموالهم. He explained that the believer, the true believer, again you see this alif and lam, al-mu'min here, al-mu'min, to show that is the complete believer, the true believer, is the one who the people trust him with their wealth and with their blood. نعم فإن الإيمان إذا دار في القلب وامتلأ به, because Iman is such that once it comes to the heart and the heart is filled with it, أوجب لصاحبه القيام بحقوق الإيمان التي من أهمها, then at that point it makes binding upon the one who has it the establishment of the rights of Iman, that which is connected to it, which the most important of that is رعاية al-amanat, keeping trusts. Keeping trust. People should be able to trust you. Now they can leave their wealth with you and come back and don't have to worry about a penny of it being missing. Now they can trust you with their life. This is from the reality of Iman. And the stronger a person's Iman is, the more trustworthy they're going to be when it comes down to upholding trusts that are placed in their hands. Now, and so he mentions from the most important of them is ri'aya al-amanat, is keeping trust, safeguarding trust. Was sidq, likewise truthfulness in one's dealings. With wara' an dhum al-nas, and withholding from oppressing others. Fi dima'ihim, in their blood, and likewise in their wealth. ومن ذلك كذلك عرف الناس هذا منه. He says, and by way of this, the people will know and they will understand that this person's Iman is intact. If I can trust him, then his Iman is there. Now, so he mentions, وَأَمِنُوهُ عَلَى دِمَائِهِمْ وَأَمْوَالِهِمْ, and they will trust him with their wealth and with their blood. وَوَثِقُوا بِهِ, and they will put their reliance upon him in this regard. لِمَا يَعْلَمُونَ مِنْهُ, due to that which they know from him, from the fact that he upholds trusts. For indeed, upholding trust min akhas wajibat al-iman, is from the most specific of the obligations of Iman. كما قال, as the Prophet said, alayhi as-salam, la imana liman la amanata lahu. There's no Iman for the one who can't be trusted. A person who can't be trusted, and with these things, you can't turn your back on him for a second. This individual like this, la imana lahu. There's no Iman for him. وَفَسَرَ الْهِجْرَةِ, he likewise thereafter he described or defined hijrah. What is hijrah? Now, as we know, hijrah is of two types. Suleiman. Now, we know that hijrah is of two types, right? It's good to change spots. Hijrah is of two types. You have al-hijratu al-ma'nawiyya and al-hijratu al-hissiyya. Right? You have the figurative hijrah and the literal or real hijrah. Right? As for the figurative hijrah, that is what is obligatory upon each and every individual. All of us. Binding. Right? But the literal hijrah, it has rulings. It has rulings. Right? The figurative hijrah is what is mentioned in this hadith. Al-muhajiru Man hajara ma nahallahu anhu. That the immigrant is the one who migrates away from what Allah has made impermissible for him. He migrates away from what Allah has made impermissible for him. Right? It's the figurative hijrah. Right? We all must do that. If Allah made something haram, then you abandon it, you leave it. You make hijrah away from it. Now, we've made hijrah away from pork, for example. We made hijrah away from alcohol. We made hijrah away from sins and disobedience. Made hijrah away from pornography. Made hijrah away from these things, right? Now, so this is the figurative hijrah that's binding upon every single individual. The literal hijrah is an al-intiqalu min baladi al-kufri ila baladi al-islam. It is to migrate away from the land of disbelief to the land of al-Islam. And it has rulings. At times it is wajib. At times it is mustahab. And so on and so forth, right? At times it may even be disliked, right? It is wajib if a person has the financial means to make hijrah, right? He has the ability, the physical ability, and he cannot openly practice his religion where he's living, right? If he cannot openly practice his religion where he's living, and he has the means to go, then he must go. He must go. It's obligatory, wajib, right? Certain times it's mustahab, it's recommended. It's recommended when a person lives in the lands of the non-Muslims. He can openly practice his religion where he's at, but he has the means to leave. Then it's recommended for him to leave. It's recommended for him to leave. Now, then there are other times, going down the line, other times it may even be disliked. For example, as the ulama mentioned from them, Sheikh Muhammad ibn Salih al-Uthaymeen, wherein you have an individual who is a student of knowledge. He's a teacher of Tawheed and Sunnah and the likes of this in a particular area in the lands of the disbelievers. And if he were to leave, then there will be nobody left there to teach the people. Right? In this case, it's disliked for him to leave in this situation until someone else comes to replace him. Now, that's the literal affair of hijrah. What is mentioned here in this hadith is the figurative type of hijrah that's obligatory upon everybody and every single time, abandoning and leaving alone that which Allah Ta'ala has made impermissible for us. Now, and so he mentions that, and that is making hijrah from al-dhunub wal-ma'asi, sins and disobedience. وَهَذَا الْفَرْض لَا يَسْقُطُ عَنْ كُلِّ مُكَلَّفٍ. This is obligatory, and it is never not obligatory. It's a double negative, I know. Never not obligatory for every individual who is a mukallaf, who is a responsible party. في كل حال من أحواله, in every instance or circumstance from the circumstances. فإن الله حرم عليه أو على عباده انتهاك المحرمات. For Allah Ta'ala has made impermissible for all of his servants that they should commit that which is impermissible, that which they should commit the haram, والإقدام على المعاصي, and that they should embark upon sins. والهجرة الخاصة التي هي الانتقال من بلد الكفر أو البدع إلى بلد الإسلام والسنة. And as for the hijrah that is specific, which is to relocate from the land of disbelief and innovation to the land of Islam and Sunnah, جزء من هذه الهجرة. It is a part of that hijrah. It is a part or a byproduct of the figurative hijrah that we mentioned. Now, وَلَيْسَتْ وَاجِبَةً عَلَى كُلِّ أَحَدٍ, and it is not obligatory upon every single individual. Again, that has its rulings down the line, as you mentioned. تجب بوجوب or بوجود أسبابها المعروفة. It becomes obligatory with the presence of its asbab al-ma'rufa, the well-known means that would make it obligatory. Then he mentions, or he defines, who is the mujahid, who is the mujahid or the warrior, the mujahid. بأنه الذي جاهد نفسه على طاعة الله, by him being the one who makes jihad against his soul. He makes a jihad against himself upon the obedience of Allah, struggling against his own soul to make it and compel it upon Allah's obedience. فإن النفس ميالة إلى الكسل, because the soul, it leans and inclines towards laziness. in fulfilling the khairat, acts of goodness, right? We get lazy sometimes from getting up and praying the night prayer, or even getting up and praying Fajr on time. We get lazy from studying and reading the book of Allah, memorizing the book of Allah. We get lazy sometimes. The soul, it leans towards this kasal. Naam, amaratun bisu. The soul likewise commands the person to do evil. Sari'atu at-ta'athur inda al-masa'ib. And it is quick to be affected when calamities and trials come to us. And we are affected by that, we get bent out of shape. Naam, وَتَحْتَاجِ إِلَى الصَّبْرِ. And so therefore the soul is in need of patience, wa jihad. And it's in need of struggling against it. It's in need of us to make jihad against it. في إلزامها طاعة الله. In compelling the soul upon obedience of Allah. وَثَبَاتِهَا عَلَيْهَا. And making the soul to be firm upon it. وَمُجَاهَدَتِهَا عَنْ مَعَاصِ اللَّهِ. And to struggle against it, to withhold it from disobeying Allah. وَرَدْعِهَا عَنْهَا. And to repel the soul from it. وَجِهَادِهَا عَلَى الصَّبْرِ. And struggling against the soul as well, to teach it and cultivate it upon patience in its three types. Patience is of three types. Firstly, patience upon the obedience of Allah. It takes patience to get up and pray. It takes patience to fast. It takes patience to give your wealth and sadaqah. It takes patience to do these things, right? So patience upon the obedience of Allah. Together, as-sabr an ma'asillah. Patience in staying away from disobeying Allah, right? It takes patience to stay away from sins when they are easily accessible to the person. Staying away from disobedience when you have the opportunity and perhaps no one will even see you doing it. It takes patience to restrain from that. And then you have the third type of patience, is as-sabr an maqadir al-mu'lima. Patience and patiently bearing the difficult trials and calamities that Allah Ta'ala decrees for the person. When difficulty comes to the person, trials come to the person, calamities strike in a person's life, you lose those who you love, you go through financial problems, and you go through health issues and the likes of this. It takes patience not to complain. It takes patience to put your trust and your reliance upon Allah and to return to Him. It takes patience, to withhold the tongue. And so, cultivating the soul and making jihad against it and compelling it to be patient عند المصائب, when difficult things come to it. هذه هي الطاعات. These are acts of obedience. امتثال المأمور. And adhering to that which we have been commanded with, واجتناب المحظور, and staying away from those things we have been prohibited from, والصبر على المقدور, and being patient upon that which Allah Ta'ala has decreed for us. فالمجاهد حقيقي. So the true mujahid, man jahadaha ala hadhi umur, is the one who makes jihad against his soul upon these affairs that we have mentioned, in order to fulfill its obligations and those things that Allah Ta'ala has made binding upon it. ومن أشرف هذا النوع وجله, and from the most noble of this act of worship of jihad, and the most eminent of it, is making jihad in qital, in fighting against the enemies of al-Islam, wa mujahadatahum, and likewise making jihad against them with the statements and likewise with actions, or with statements and with actions, meaning statements defending the truth and speaking up for it, clarifying it and rebutting and refuting falsehood. This is a type of jihad in the path of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. And then there is the physical act of fighting and the likes of this, and it has its rulings and its conditions as we have previously mentioned. Now, فإن الجهاد في سبيل الله ذروة سنام الدين, because jihad in the path of Allah, it is the apex of the religion, as we mentioned in the previous two lessons. وهذا الحديث من قام بما دل عليه, so therefore whoever establishes that which this hadith indicates, فقد قام بالدين كله, then he has established the entirety of the religion. ومن سلم المسلمون من لسانه ويده, so whoever The Muslims are safe from his tongue and from his hand. Naam, وَأَمِنَهُ النَّاسَ عَلَى دِمَائِهِمْ وَأَمْوَالِهِمْ. And the people can trust him with their property and their lives. وَهَجَرَ مَا نَهَى اللَّهُ عَنْهُ. And he migrates away from that which Allah Ta'ala has prohibited him from. وَجَاهَدَ نَفْسَهُ عَلَى طَاعَةِ اللَّهِ. He makes jihad against his soul in the obedience of Allah. إنه لم يبقى من الخير الديني والدنيوي الظاهري والباطني شيئا إلا فعله. Then there will not remain anything of goodness in the religion, nor in the dunya, outwardly or inwardly, except that he will have enacted it and performed it. ولا من شر إلا تركه. Nor any evil except that he will have abandoned it. Wallahu al-muwaffiq wahda. And Allah Ta'ala alone is the one who grants success. Naam. So we stop there. بإذن الله تعالى. هذا وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين.